James Griggs, standing in the ward of Netteswell, why have you decided to stand as a councillor?
Well, Michael, you'll be aware that I've been involved in a number of community projects over the years, and the time that I've been in Harlow, which is now coming up for 23 years. And it just feels like it's the right time to take that a step further and get into the mix and do something that hopefully can make even more difference to some of the things that I want to get involved in and appreciate.
Because I've known you from the arts and the community, so it's almost like taking the next step, saying about representation, but on a bigger, wider level.
Well, exactly that. And I think with my involvement in the other projects, I've been frustrated at times with the council process of things, and also I now understand very much how some of that side of things works. And so I'd like to get in there into the mix and see if we can't do things just a little bit differently.
So out and about in the ward, what's come up?
You will not be surprised to learn that number one, potholes. Yeah, everybody grumbles about those because it's just wrecking our cars, and they're just not getting fixed. We've had years and years of promises that they're going to be done. And as a keen cyclist, I'm out and about, and I realise that it's actually not only the roads, it's the cycle tracks around town and the pavements that are in just as bad a condition. Terrible mess.
And so, but even though you're saying to people it's Essex County Council, Essex Highway,
yeah,
people want you to come up with an answer, don't they?
They do, and unfortunately the only thing that can be done from a district council point of view is just to keep badgering the Essex County Council about it. But we've got 4 county councillors in this town that sit as members of Harlow District Council as well, so we've got a close connection to them, and we should be asking them why they're not actually doing something about it.
What about cost of living?
It's, as you know, it's just going skyward at the moment, and it is worrying an awful lot of people. It's probably after potholes, it's the next thing that comes up on the doorsteps. People are genuinely worried about how they can afford to pay for their bills, and not only that, we've got council rents going up as well by the largest amount for a decade. It is really concerning a lot of people.
Again, people are saying that to you. What answers, if you become a district councillor, can you come up with?
Well, there are things that we can do locally, and one of those is look at things like the rents and how we can not have those increases that are worrying people. The other thing is just try to make more representation to sort of government, and the Labour Party's policy is to impose a windfall tax to try and bring some of that money back from the energy companies. We've got the likes of BP, I think it was, that said they've got more. Their chief executive described themselves as a cash machine at the moment, got more money than they know what to do with. At district level, there's a limited amount in terms of that respect, but it's representing. It's just having a bigger voice to put that message to the government and say people are just genuinely not happy with what's happening at the moment.
Labour lost this ward last year. I know
yes.
It's not your turn, if you know what I mean. So why do you think they lost it last year, and why do you think they can win it this year?
I think it has been, for some while, has been more of a Labour seat than anything else, but I'm not remotely complacent about that. But in terms of last year, I think there was a big issue with the whole Brexit bounce, the Boris bounce, if you want to call it that, and the whole vaccine issue. That was being rolled out, and people were genuinely quite happy with the way things were going. We did have a good vaccine program. I could criticise the government on many issues surrounding that, but as you know, I was working in one of the vaccine clinics in town, and people were genuinely eager to come and get their jabs. I think that whole sort of situation created a thing where people were just really quite happy, and at that point, they thought that the world was good at that point.
Speaking of the ward, you're taking over from Mike Danvers, who was standing in 1972.
I know.
And big shoes to fill.
Very, very big shoes, or very big walking boots, I think, in terms of Mike's hobbies, which I share with him. Yes, huge shoes to fill. Great honour to be the replacement for, certainly the replacement as far as the party is concerned, and hopefully in terms of representing the ward. Mike has a wealth of information and experience, all of which I shall continue to tap into in his retirement. He's very happy for me to do that.
But we have a Conservative-run council.
Yes.
You have 10 Green candidates.
Yes.
I've just interviewed Sarah Jarvis, your competitor, so to speak.
Yep.
Why Labour?
Why Labour? I think people just genuinely trust Labour to deliver on their promises. I hope that's the case. I mean, I'm not necessarily one of those that toes the party line all the time, which will cause me a little bit of grief every now and then, but it's a case that I think in Harlow it's very polarised town. It's blue or it's red, and I have great respect for democracy, and it's nice to see the Greens making a stand. Some of them are my friends. There's cross-party talking there, and I will certainly be interested, and have been interested, in sharing opinions and discussions on that. But I don't think they're going to make that much difference across the board, and we're certainly finding that on the doorstep.
But you think you will?
I hope so. Certainly, yes. I think I will. I think I've gained a lot of experience since I lived in the town, a lot of information through various community projects, and I think I have some experience from my working life as an events manager and a project manager. I know how to get things done.